Hello everyone. Just making sure the audio is working. If you can hear me, if you're listening in or whatever else, even if you tune in later, let me know where you're tuning in from and what the weather is like there. So I've been watching the weather in Vermont a lot lately, um, because my family and I are turning into homeless nomads on purpose. Um, yeah, so if you're one of my local clients, heads up. We're selling everything we own, buying an RV, and hitting the road. Um, yeah, I wrote a really long blog post about it yesterday on my website, which I have been turning into a Patreon style platform. Turning the volume up a little bit because it looks like my volume is a little low. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, I've been turning my website into a sort of Patreon sort of deal, and I'm really proud of what I pulled off there. But yeah, yeah, we were trying to live the American dream. You know, the big house. Oh, got the eraser. Like, the big house and a garage with a car, and that's not what I'm after. That's not what I'm after at all in life. Um, Especially since medical bills sort of came crashing down on us before we could close on the house. Like, we got approved for a big mortgage. And it's something we've been trying to do for a long time. And then we got the approval. And then we got hit with medical bills before we could close, which was kind of a blessing. So it made us realize as a family that, like, even if the bank says we can afford it, that doesn't mean we can. The bank has their own agenda, and it's not necessarily aligned with ours. So, nomad homeless people it is. Oh, that is hot, hot coffee. Just made it. Gonna let that cool a bit while I try and figure out what I'm drawing today. So my game plan is to transition into being a full-time illustrator. And I'm giving myself about 8 to 10 months to pull that off. So I'll be slowly phasing out tattooing as I slowly phase in illustration. That's published. So I'm just looking through some of my ideas here. To figure out what I want to make. What's this one? No. So if I'm being honest, most of my artwork is a little bit dark. Did I write anything on this one? No, it's just a blank file. That one's already published. That one's published. That one's dark. That one's dark. This one could be interesting. Drowning in your shadow. Yeah, I'm gonna do some gesture drawing while I warm up, and I'm gonna be thinking of this idea of drowning in your shadow. Ah. But yeah, let's talk let's talk reasoning behind the whole sudden change. Well, the medical bills have a lot to do with it, but everything that I've ever, well, most of the stuff that I've decided to do up to this point in my career have been really rooting me in Kentucky. And I'm a nomad. Like I've always been a nomad. As soon as I turned 18, I got out of Kentucky and I wandered around the southeast United States. So like Tennessee, Georgia, Texas. So that's more west. Um, and I loved the more liberal areas that I lived in. So Austin, Texas, for instance, amazing city. Loved the Love the atmosphere there. And I really want to get back to something like that. Let's see. 30-minute session. I'm doing a 30-minute gesture drawing session and I'm thinking of a print idea. If I start to get an idea for the print based on like what I'm drawing, then I'll stop gesture drawing and start actually working on the print. Be right back. Gonna grab my drawing glove. I has returned. All right, so let's draw. 30-minute gesture or 30-minute gesture drawing session. I got a big big chunky brush right now, which might be a little more difficult than I expected. Actually, this is kind of a fun brush to do gesture drawing with. Oh, I gotta say, I've picked up a trick that is really helping me with my gestures. And I don't know if you've picked up on that same trick or not, but this arrow for the spine and the hips gives you the pelvis really quickly. All right, so that's 30-second gestures. Now we're up to a minute. Gives you like this line of action. Along with the pelvis and everything that you need to quickly lay out the body. It's really nifty. Yeah, so now that I'm a little further in my gesture exercise, this is like these are slower gestures. I think this big chunky, oh, I was just zoomed in way too far. All right. And I also have like random just body parts popping up, so that's what this is. I got a foot, which is a really interesting challenge for me because I don't draw feet a lot, so trying to look at the forms and uh, 2.5 minute gesture time. This guy's at a very strange angle. Good challenge. So, everything is moving away. It's also moving away. Very good. This arm coming forward. Head overlaps. So pecs go through here. We get this arm coming down. Better than I expected to get from that pose. Because I could not figure out quite what I was looking at first. Gosh. All right. Now gesture drawing is just messing with my head on purpose. Good study of the elbow region. That also ended up better than I expected, considering the difficulty of the pose. Huh. Alright. Another 2.5 minute pose. Let's see if I can make it fit. There we go. Now I can make it fit. honestly kind of a boring pose. So it's a woman this time. But all things considered, it's a very boring pose for a woman. Typically, the masculine poses are the more boring poses because they tend to be stiffer. But in this case, it's the opposite. The two masculine poses that I just did were much more dynamic, and this is the boring. Oh, like we've got the weight-bearing leg, and actually gonna change it to. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna start from scratch on this one and do a quick sketch and see if I can get more of a dynamic. We'll put that leg, the weight-bearing leg, in the back. Twist the ribs a little bit closer. Ah. I got a little carried away with that line of action. Okay, now 5-minute pose. Another dynamic male pose. So I'm just looking at the pose right now, trying to figure out the best way to draw it that will make it as action-packed as possible. And I think just sticking to the pose fairly faithfully. Well, we've got. Let's redo the new layer. I want to make it more off balance than it is. And I'll bring this leg higher. So that's the back, that's the center. I'll actually lift that foot. I really want his chest to be like a barrel compared to the rest of his body. Look at this shoulder coming back. Just fixing some proportion issues. So I'm imagining that that's moving backwards in space. Getting into carve it. Bring the knee way up, and this would be very much in your face, and that would go like so, and then we'd get a much stronger calf. I want to bring that down a bit more heroic proportions. So something kind of sad has happened at Affinity, though. I don't know if she's made it remotely public or not, so I'm not gonna. I don't know. Things. I am worried about the future of Affinity when I leave. I'll just leave it at that. Like I believe in the crew to do what's best for them, and I hope that my baby survives. Oh, challenging pose. I don't even know. So the barrel trick is not gonna, or the arrow trick is not gonna work for this one. Let's see, we've got rib cage floating above the head. We've got the ear here. But yeah, I did announce my departure from Affinity to the crew like last week. So this is not like completely out of the blue. But I was trying to give, more than ample notice for adjustments to be made and all of that. And I still believe in the company. Like, Affinity is not the reason that our family is wanting to escape. Well, not escape, but leave. We want to leave Kentucky to find a place that is culturally a little more aligned with our family's values, a little cooler, because Kentucky is heating up quickly with the global warmings. I'm sorry, climate change. And it's just, we live in such a poor area and there's not much opportunity here, so we're just trying to get somewhere where there's more opportunities, somewhere that we can live. It sounds like a grass is always greener situation. It's really not. Like we've had our eye on Vermont for a little while as an alternative to New Zealand. Yeah, like I'm ready to see some change. I love novelty, and I think it's gonna be what's best for our kids too. Gotta get the scapula. There's actually a divot that comes around. Bring that shoulder out a little further. So this guy's doing a backflip. It's really cool. Or a front flip. I don't know. He's doing a flip flip. But yeah, seeing the world I think is going to be great for the kids. And I don't have anything really tying me to Kentucky other than the business. My grandfather was the last close family that I had. I'm sort of close with my brother. Like, we speak occasionally. But honestly, my grandfather was the last person holding me in the state other than, you know, my wife and kids. Even my wife's family lives out of state. They've been begging for us to move. Granted, they want us to move further south. I want to move north. But yeah, we're escaping the Kentucky. I really got nothing in terms of drowning in your shadow as a prompt for a print design. So I may not be on track to make a print this month. Actually, that's what I'll do. I will try something a little different. So I am going to try. Oh, someone here right now? Hey, person. So I'm going to try doing a poll, and I'll probably do it on my website. Yeah, so if you visit joshj.blog, like I said, I've set up my website as sort of a Patreon type platform, which I'm really proud of. Like, I'm really, really proud of what I managed to pull off there. If you visit joshj.blog, sign up as a subscriber, and that's a free tier. But if you sign up as a subscriber, I'll open the first poll to just subscribers and anyone who's a subscriber. But we'll do. Yeah, I don't like that either. So I need community involvement is what I need. So I will poll the community and figure out what characters I should do a print of next. So speaking of my client yesterday, doing some in-person market research, which I think is typically the most powerful, just one-on-one. Hey, like, I've got this idea. What would it take for you to actually put money down for it? And he was saying that he really liked the idea of fan art, original illustrations, fan art wise, phone wallpapers. So he said that he has actually subscribed to a couple of Patreon creators because they did fan art wallpapers. So I might change up my typical format for illustrations and make them more wallpaper friendly, or do variations on them. So like square is just my preferred aspect ratio. Don't know why, but I like doing square illustrations. But what I might try to do is create the square illustration and then drop it onto a 9:16, so phone aspect ratio, and see if I can make a nice phone background out of those as well. And then by the same token, do it the other way with a 1080. So what could end up happening is all right, so let's say I do the square illustration first, because that's what I do. And then I make a version of that. So I can crop in pretty close on that and make a version of that that is more 9:16. So if I design it in mind with, like, you know, things need to be in this bleed area for a 9:16, and then I can just add on to the canvas like this, and then do the same thing the other way, except I would just be either tacking on a little bit of extra for the desktop wallpaper version, or same thing as up here, and I crop in a little bit closer and end up with 3 versions of the same illustration that are all designed for different aspect ratios. That, I think, is what I'm going to do for my paid subscribers. Yeah. That would be a lot of extra work for those extra little features, but I think it would be kind of nice. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna open up polling on my website. Well, first I'm going to try and get suggestions, and then I will open up polling on my website for the next print design. What time is it? I have a client coming in here in just a few minutes. I'm already set up and ready to tattoo, but I do want to be ready to go whenever they get here. Oh, I'm excited, a little nervous, but excited about, you know, what's next. It's going to be awesome, though. Yeah. I think so. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I am ducking out a little early so that I can get the rest of the studio ready, not just my workstation. And next week, hopefully I'll be starting on an actual print, because, you know, next week I will be starting on an actual print, because that is my new profession. I've got this transition that I need to start going through as soon as humanly possible. But I can't wait. I can't wait for this challenge. Yeah. It's going to be great. All right. So until next week, take it easy, everybody. Make sure you visit joshj.blog and sign up for a membership. It's just like Patreon, secure payments through Stripe. I cannot take your card information and blah, blah, blah. It's a secure website. And yeah, I will start rolling out new features to subscribers as they are demanded. But for now, we're going to start with print discounts and polls for paid subscribers. First poll is obviously going to be open to everyone. Yeah. I'm excited to see where this journey takes me. It's going to be great. Yeah. All right. Take it easy, everybody. Keep drawing, painting, writing, singing, or dancing your hearts out, and we will talk next week.